Have you ever felt like you're walking through life with a sense that something is just off? Like the rules everyone else follows don't quite fit, or that there's an invisible force pushing you towards something greater, but you can't yet understand what it is? You're not alone. So many of us experience this deep, gnawing feeling that we were meant for more. And it's not just a passing thought, it's a real, undeniable sensation. Something stirs within you, urging you to pay attention, to wake up. The truth is, you might be one of the chosen ones. But what does that mean? It's not about fantasy or some fictional narrative where superheroes save the day. It's much deeper. It's about an awakening to who you truly are and understanding that the world around you isn't as it seems. There's a shift taking place within you, one that you can't ignore, and it's leading you to a truth that's far beyond the ordinary. So, if you've ever questioned your place in the world and wondered if there's more to your life than what meets the eye, then keep reading. This might just change everything for you. Signs of awakening. Are you the chosen one? There are moments in life when things just don't seem to line up, like things are happening around you that go beyond mere coincidence. Maybe you found yourself repeatedly seeing the same numbers everywhere, 333, 1111, and at first it feels strange, but then it becomes undeniable. These aren't random. They feel significant, like the universe is trying to tell you something. Or perhaps you felt a deep connection to certain people, places, or even ideas that you can't quite explain. It's as though these things are meant for you, a sign that your awakening is happening right before your eyes. But these are just the surface signs. There's also a deep sense of isolation that many of the chosen ones experience. Suddenly, small talk seems exhausting. Conversations with friends and family feel shallow, and you long for something deeper, something real. You might find yourself craving truth, even if it's uncomfortable. You're not just interested in what's surface level anymore. You want to know the essence of things. It's like you're starting to see through the illusion that most people are content living in. And then there's intuition, a gut feeling that you can't quite explain. Have you ever just known something before it happened, or sensed someone's emotions without them speaking a word? Maybe you've felt an overwhelming connection to something beyond this reality, a deep knowing that this life is only a small piece of a much larger puzzle. This is awakening. It's not your imagination. It's you beginning to see with eyes that were once closed. But here's the thing, not everyone experiences these signs. Some are content in their ordinary lives, never feeling the pull towards something greater, and that's okay. But if you're reading this, you might just be one of the chosen ones, feeling that nudge to awaken, to break free, and to discover the deeper truth of who you are. But awakening isn't always as peaceful as it sounds. The cost of awakening, pain, is your path. Awakening isn't gentle. It doesn't come with soft whispers and serene moments of realization. It's not a calm experience. It's a storm. Imagine building a house your whole life, investing time and energy into every brick and every detail, only to realize one day that the foundation was never solid. What happens when you realize that everything you've built is on shaky ground? It begins to crumble. This is the reality of the awakening process. It's a violent shift that upends everything you thought was real. You might go through what's called the dark night of the soul, a period of intense confusion, loss, and pain. It's a time when everything feels like it's falling apart, your relationships, your career, even your sense of self. It's easy to think that this destruction is punishment, but in truth, it's a necessary part of your transformation. For me, it felt like everything I had worked for was suddenly meaningless. Friends I'd known for years seemed to fade away. The job I had spent so much of my life building no longer felt fulfilling. I questioned everything, my purpose, my direction, my worth. I had lost myself in the chaos of change. But in the depths of that pain, something incredible began to emerge. Pain became my teacher. The tears, the heartbreak, the loneliness, they weren't signs of failure. They were signs of growth. The universe was stripping away the old, the false, and the unnecessary to make room for something new. Every loss, every moment of doubt, was clearing the way for me to step into my true self. Truth is, pain is the only way to break free. It's in those darkest moments that the greatest lessons are learned. Transformation doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in struggle. Every breakdown is a breakthrough waiting to happen. And while the journey through this pain feels unbearable at times, it's also the most liberating experience you will ever go through. So, if you're in the middle of this storm right now, if you feel like everything is falling apart, know this: it's not the end. It's the beginning of your awakening. It's painful, yes, but it's necessary, because beyond this darkness lies the light of your true self. And when you make it through, you'll finally understand why you were chosen to walk this path in the first place. Breaking through, how to accept your identity. There comes a point in every awakening when the internal struggle hits its peak. You've gone through the pain, the confusion, the breakdowns, but there's still something you're resisting. It's that deep, almost uncomfortable moment when you realize that the only thing standing in the way of your transformation is you. Accepting who you truly are is the hardest part of awakening. It's easy to want to fit into the world around you, to play the role that society expects of you. But the truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, and that's terrifying. I remember the day I realized I had to stop pretending. I had spent so many years trying to fit into a mold I didn't belong to. I wanted to be like everyone else, normal, simple, and safe. But deep down, something was always calling me, urging me to embrace something more. I remember sitting alone in my apartment, feeling utterly drained from the effort of trying to fix myself. I had been reading all the self-help books, taking the courses, doing the work, hoping to be a better version of what the world expected. And then, in a quiet moment, a thought came to me: what if I'm not broken? What if I was meant to be this way? It was like a switch flipped. In that moment, everything changed. I stopped fighting myself. I stopped looking for permission to be who I was, and instead, I embraced it. The feeling of peace that washed over me in that instant was nothing short of profound. I understood that the struggle I had been experiencing wasn't because I was wrong. It was because I had been trying to fit into a box that was never meant for me. And I know if you're reading this, you might be in the same place I was. You've been resisting your own identity. You're fighting the truth about who you are, and it's exhausting. But here's the thing: the moment you accept yourself, everything changes. The loneliness starts to fade. You begin to attract the right people into your life, people who see you for who you truly are, who understand your struggles and share your vision. You stop feeling like an outsider, and instead, you start finding your place in the world. But acceptance isn't easy. It's scary, because stepping into your true identity means letting go of everything you thought you knew about yourself. It means embracing your uniqueness and your power, even when others might not understand it. It means saying goodbye to the old version of you, the one that tried to please others and conform to the expectations of society. But once you make that decision, once you stop pretending to be something you're not, life begins to shift. Opportunities show up. People who resonate with your energy appear. The world doesn't seem so hostile anymore because you're no longer fighting yourself. You start to own who you are, and when you do, you realize that all the pain, the confusion, and the struggle were part of the process. So how do you accept your identity? You start by being kind to yourself. Stop trying to change who you are to fit into someone else's idea of what's right. Listen to your inner voice, trust your intuition, and give yourself permission to be different. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because the moment you embrace your true self, you'll begin to see the world around you in a completely new light. You'll understand that everything you've been through, the pain, the suffering, the doubts, was leading you to this moment of self-acceptance. And once you accept who you are, you'll finally begin to see why you were chosen for this journey in the first place. The call of destiny, the real reason you were chosen. Now that you've begun to embrace your true identity, the next question is, why you? Why are you here? Why did the universe choose you to walk this path of awakening, while so many others remain unaware of their potential? It's a question I've asked myself countless times. When I first started feeling the pull towards something greater, I didn't understand it. I didn't know why I was different, why I had this insatiable hunger for truth, or why the world felt like it was on the brink of something major. But the answer, as I later discovered, is simple. You were chosen because you have a role to play. You were chosen because you're capable of seeing beyond the illusions that hold others back. You're meant to be a guide, a light in the darkness. And let me be clear, being chosen doesn't mean you're special in some superior way. It means that you have the courage to wake up and embrace the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means you've been called to awaken, to lead, and to help others break free from the constraints that keep them stuck. When I first realized this, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I had spent so much time trying to figure out why I was different, why I couldn't just be like everyone else. But then I understood. It wasn't a curse, it was a gift. You see, you're not meant to follow the status quo. You're not here to live a life that's dictated by someone else's expectations. You're here to disrupt the old systems, to break the cycles that have kept people trapped in a life of mediocrity. You were chosen because you have the power to awaken others simply by being yourself. The struggles you've faced weren't random. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every difficult moment you've experienced has been preparing you for something greater. It wasn't just pain for the sake of pain, it was transformation. And now, as you step into your true identity, you're beginning to see the bigger picture. Maybe you're meant to heal others, to teach, to create, or to inspire. The specifics don't matter as much as the energy you bring. Once you fully embrace your purpose, you'll start to notice something incredible happening. Opportunities will begin to appear in your life. The right people will come into your orbit. You'll feel a deep sense of meaning and fulfillment that you've never felt before. The universe has been guiding you all along, placing signs in your path, giving you the nudges you needed to step into your power. And now, you're finally ready to accept the call of destiny. But the real reason you were chosen is not just for your own growth. It's because the world needs you. The world is changing, and it needs people who can see through the illusions, who can break the chains that bind us to outdated ways of thinking and living. It needs people who are willing to stand up and lead by example. It needs you to shine your light and help others find their way. So, the question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue to hide from your purpose, or will you step fully into the role you were always meant to play? You were chosen because you have the strength to carry out this mission. And now, it's time to answer the call. The world is waiting for you to rise. Spiritual growth, practical methods for awakening. Awakening is not the end of the journey, it's the beginning. Once you've accepted your identity and stepped into your purpose, the real work begins. Awakening isn't just about realizing who you are, it's about growing into that awareness every single day. And growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires intention, practice, and a willingness to evolve. I remember the first time I realized that knowing the truth wasn't enough. I had reached a point where I could see through the illusions of the world, but I still felt lost. My energy was drained, my mind was overwhelmed, and I had no idea how to maintain the clarity I had found. That's when I understood. Awakening isn't just about opening your eyes, it's about learning how to live with those open eyes. So how do you grow spiritually without getting lost in the noise of the world? How do you nurture your awakening and stay connected to your higher self? Here are some practical methods that help me, and that might help you too. 1. Meditation, the art of silence. Meditation isn't about sitting in stillness and thinking of nothing. It's about learning how to listen. Your mind is constantly flooded with thoughts, emotions, and external influences. Meditation helps you filter out the noise and tune into your true self. Even just 10 minutes a day can change everything. Start by focusing on your breath, allowing thoughts to pass like clouds without attaching to them. Over time, you'll notice that answers start to come, clarity emerges, and your connection to the unseen world deepens. 2. Protecting your energy, the power of boundaries. One of the biggest struggles of awakening is dealing with the overwhelming energy of others. You might find yourself feeling drained after certain conversations or emotionally exhausted in crowded places. This is because you're becoming more sensitive to energy. Learning to protect your energy is crucial. Set boundaries, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Avoid people and places that feel heavy or toxic. Visualize a shield of light around you when you enter spaces that feel overwhelming. Remember, not everything deserves access to your energy. 3. Journaling, conversations with your higher self. Writing down your thoughts isn't just a therapeutic exercise, it's a portal to deeper understanding. When you put your thoughts on paper, patterns emerge, insights surface, and clarity comes. Try journaling every morning or whenever you feel lost. Ask yourself questions and let the answers flow without judgment. Over time, you'll notice that your higher self is speaking to you through your own words. 4. Nature, returning to the source. The world we live in is filled with distractions, screens, noise, responsibilities, but nature is pure. It's real. It's the one place where you can reconnect with the energy of the universe without interference. Spend time in nature as often as you can. Walk barefoot on the earth. Listen to the wind. Watch the stars. Nature reminds you that you are part of something much greater. 5. Following your intuition, trusting the inner voice. Your intuition is your greatest guide, but for most of your life, you were taught to ignore it, to listen to logic, society, and external expectations. Awakening is about unlearning that conditioning and returning to trust. When something feels right, follow it. When something feels off, honor that feeling. The more you trust your intuition, the louder and clearer it becomes. 6. Finding rituals that ground you. Spiritual growth isn't just about moments of insight, it's about creating a life that supports your awakening. Daily rituals help you stay connected. It can be as simple as lighting a candle in the morning, saying a mantra, pulling an oracle card, or drinking tea in silence. Small, intentional moments create an environment where your spiritual growth flourishes. The key to spiritual growth is consistency. Awakening isn't a single moment of clarity, it's a lifelong process of returning to yourself. The more you nurture your connection, the stronger it becomes. And as you continue to grow, you'll start to attract others who are walking a similar path. Connecting with like-minded souls. Where is your soul family? One of the hardest parts of awakening is the loneliness. At first, it feels like you're walking this path alone. The people around you don't understand, and the conversations that once felt normal now feel shallow. You long for connection, real, deep, meaningful connection with those who see the world as you do. This is the moment you start searching for your soul family. I remember the first time I met someone who truly understood me. Up until that point, I had felt isolated, like an outsider in my own life. But then, I met someone who spoke the same language, someone who had been through the same struggles and had the same questions. It was like finding a missing piece of myself, and that's when I realized my soul family was out there. I just had to find them. So, where do you find your soul family? 1. Follow your interests. Your soul family is drawn to the same things you are. If you're passionate about spirituality, healing, or personal growth, immerse yourself in those spaces. Join online communities, attend workshops, or take classes that align with your interests. The more you follow what excites you, the more likely you are to meet people who resonate with your energy. 2. Be authentic. The more you embrace who you truly are, the easier it is for your soul family to recognize you. Don't dim your light to fit in. Speak your truth. Share your thoughts. The right people will find you when you stop pretending to be someone you're not. 3. Let go of old connections. Sometimes we hold on to relationships that no longer align with us out of fear of being alone. But letting go of what no longer serves you creates space for new, meaningful connections to enter your life. Trust that when one door closes, another one opens. 4. Trust divine timing. You don't have to force connections. Your soul family will come into your life at the right time. Trust the process. Keep growing, keep evolving, and know that the people meant for you will find their way to you. Finding your soul family isn't about searching endlessly. It's about aligning yourself with the energy of those who are meant to walk this journey with you. And when you do, everything changes. Conclusion: if you've made it this far, you already know the truth. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were chosen for this journey, and every challenge, every moment of doubt, every painful transformation was preparing you for this moment. You are here to awaken, to grow, and to step fully into your purpose. But this journey isn't just about you. It's about the impact you will have on others. As you continue to grow, you will become a guide for those still searching. Your courage to embrace your awakening will inspire others to do the same. The world is shifting. More and more people are waking up, questioning everything and seeking deeper truths. And you are part of that movement. You are not alone. You never were. You were just waiting for the moment when you were ready to see it. So take a deep breath. Look back at everything you've overcome and step forward with confidence. Your awakening is not an accident. It's a calling. The world needs you now more than ever, and the time to rise is now.